Hello, my name's Carl Wade from R2M Limited, and I'm here to talk to you today about our range of wide tolerance fittings. The first range of fittings I'm going to talk to you about is our range of C-Quick encapsulation collars. This is our patented fitting, which is used in sizes at the moment from 80mm to 200mm, although we are extending the range of wide tolerance. So you've got 16mm tolerance on every single fitting minimum. You've also got a large encapsulation dome. This means that you can use these encapsulation collars, meaning no shut off, on ductile iron, cast, steel, PE, UPVC, and the newer MOPVC should you have leaking joints. The big benefit of these fittings, and particularly because of the wider tolerance dome, is that you can also use them on leaking flanges, leaking collars, leaking couplings, leaking flange adapters, and a lot of customers use them on leaking electrofusion collars as well. So completely universal, hence they are up there with our very, very best, fastest selling products. Obviously, the benefits of having an encapsulation collar is that you're keeping the water always on, you're de-risking the water company from CML fines, you've no depressurisation, so you're not causing leaks elsewhere. And it's all about no shut off and always on. The fittings that I'm going to move on to next are the sort of big brother of the encapsulation range. Again, hugely popular. We have framework agreements literally from the top of the country, Scottish Water, right down to Thames Water and across. It's one of our biggest and most successful ranges. So the big brother is the Duo Fit encapsulation collar range. So we go up further even more impressively, we go up to 30mm tolerance. So this means that a typical collar, let's take a 600mm, you can install that on a leaking collar or joint with no interruption to the services, and reasonably within sort of 90 minutes you should have a completely sealed collar. The big benefit, particularly for 30mm tolerance throughout our range, is that it copes with ovality, it copes with uneven pipes, and it's very forgiving if somebody makes caliper mistakes. So they also one of the really important things, and you'll hear this again and again with our ranges, because you've got 30mm tolerance, it means that you've got one fitting that fits many pipes. So whereas the competition would offer you dedicated fittings, at some sizes, I can think of particularly 300, 350mm sizes, where it covers one fitting can cover up to 7 different pipe sizes. That's just with one fitting that you can take to site. If you know your pipes of a particular size, the likelihood is it will fit first time. And they're very easy to fit as well. They're all 16 bar rated, 24 bar test pressure, very easy to fit, and currently the range that we offer with the with the Duo Fit encapsulation collars are predominantly 300mm up to 2.5 meters diameter. And we have done some very, very big encapsulation case studies within the UK. Moving on, we have our range of multi-grip and wide tolerance couplings and flange adapters, and they also do special fittings as well. Again, just to repeat without repeating myself, but 30mm tolerance means that uneven pipes going from pipes that might be going from transitioning from cast to ductile, from PE to steel, it doesn't matter. As long as it fits within the tolerance range, these fittings you can use time and time again. So what it does do is it cuts down on the number of fittings that you use. You're less likely to have to use back-to-back flange adapters. It cuts down on having to design in things like thrust blocks. In fact, now what you're doing is using the multi-grip end restraint fittings is you can often design out thrust blocks. Because the fittings the grippers can be undone. This is an example of the gripper here. On rising main installations, what we can do is we can work with the designers and show where you can design out dismantling joints, so you can take valves in and out for maintenance, etc. And again, from a stock point of view, what's really important, and it's always the case with wide tolerance fittings, is you can reduce your stock by a minimum of 50%, which is huge for water companies who are looking to downsize stores, have less fittings, make it simpler for the guys and the operatives on site, and reduce the number of items on stock. Particularly when it comes to the end restraint fittings, the great thing is that the liner is not an integral part of the fitting. It comes separate. So you only need one fitting, let's say it's 630mm. That will do SDR11, SDR17, SDR21, SDR26, whatever you need it to do. You simply change the insert, which is a fraction of the price of stocking multiple dedicated fittings like the competition offer. Another thing to finish off with on the wide tolerance fittings, United Utilities being probably the biggest user of them, is when you are doing repairs and you're going from one pipe to another, having a very narrow fitting can be a disadvantage, because if you quickly backfill and it's not compacted enough and there's some angular deflection and the pipes move, then once you take away the setting gap, you've got a large likelihood or a high likelihood that you're going to create a leak at the bottom of the pipe. By using long barrel fittings, so 500mm long body, that's very, very unlikely to happen. So this is something that's been adopted by United Utilities and is now being adopted by more and more water companies for strategic repairs. So hopefully that's a good overview of the features and benefits of wide tolerance fittings, and hopefully understandable from the point of view of what the benefits that customers are going to receive.